Too many squirrels in chat, lol. You won't need a fuel line now. Really? Okay. Fuel's coming out of that one and not the bottom one. So that's working fine. So we're going to need a way of keeping this thing under control because that's not a vectoring engine. Oh yeah, it is. It's a gimbal. So we can get rid of that. Interesting. The antenna broke off. Yeah. This was never meant to fly in an atmosphere. See, I think that they are RCS thrusters. I'm not entirely sure. But I think they're RCS thrusters. Which then means if we put some down here, I just have to go here, that center of mass moves up when this fuel depletes anyway, so that's fine. So we kind of need something like that, so that when this separates out, we can still like orient the vehicle. You do need the fuel line. Okay, let's test that theory, shall we? I mean, if you've got the stack separator cross feeding, I don't know why you would, but without the line, the small tank will drain. It's disabled. It's not draining. You don't need the line. You just confirmed that we don't need the line. Right. Is that big enough? How much is in there? $7.5. It's not a lot, is it? Looks a bit nicer. And a bit taller. Let's try and line these up with that thing. It's Mahusev. Sander Cooper, thank you very much. Okay, so. Now I've got to get that into lower orbit. I don't think we'll need... We're going to have to test this, but I don't think we're going to need all this fuel. But I just don't know until I try it. What's the rotarator going to be used at the top? Dude. It's a surprise. You'll see. Pure style. Pure style. That's all it is. Right, so this vehicle, it just needs to solve one more problem. That's this vehicle here. How do we control and deorbit that? More fuel's a bigger explosion when it goes wrong, isn't that true? What can we slap on this thing to give us the ability to control it remotely? A probe header. Ugh. Can we stick one on the side? Does it have to physically connect in? How big is that? It's tiny. Even that's pretty small. There's one that looks like a fuel tank. There's a remote guidance unit. You stick that in there, but again, if you just look at the size of it. External EVA so you can get the job to fly. Yeah, but the problem with that is he then has to like... he has to sit on the side of it, deorbit, and then somehow get himself back to the space station. Put it in a service bay, that might work. Although it... will it? That looks very, very dodgy. That looks very dodgy. Why does the size matter? Because, like, that's just going to snap off, surely. Look at it. All the power of this engine being gimbaled through that tiny guidance unit. It'll be fine. Has that got any built-in reaction? Unmanned remote parts assist, hibernation mode. Do what? The auto strut. What's that? What's an auto strut? Toggle talk. I don't see anything about an auto strut. If I take off and then separate, can I switch from control that to the little thing? Is it the angle bracket? So the square bracket keys? Is that why I jump back to the other one? And there goes the antenna. I want to see what happens. Yeah, but Larry, it folds like that. Right, so if we kill the power to this, and then separate, and then see how much control we actually have over this thing. Oh, hang on, we have to re-enable the fuel. That's going to be pretty hard to control. There's not enough reaction control on that. Because what we want to be able to do with that is just point it into retrograde and just deorbit it. It wouldn't take a lot, but I mean, it probably work better in a vacuum. I don't know. Maybe in a vacuum it will work better. Crikey, that's out of fuel. It just burned that fuel like it was out. That was insane. Yeah. I mean, sadly, we're going to have to test that in the field. What else have we got under lighting? The light strip Mark 1, the navigation light. Spotlight Mark 1. I don't think we need them anymore. You put some ladders on the station in little spots so that repairs need to be done. Alright. Why do they look more embedded than them? Commander Orana, thank you for 72 months. It's been a pleasure to be here, the Nuthouse community. Good to see you back in KSP. How we doing? Been much explosions. We had one or two, but nothing serious. Did a lot of landings on Minmus today. We've done okay, actually. Great. He's got ladders all up that side. That side. There's no point putting ladders here because that's not even staying. Oh my god, game. Not enough ladderage. John Bow, thank you for subbing. Welcome. Welcome, John. I think that, you know, it's going to be a difficult enough job just getting that into orbit. Let's see what the Brighton launcher thinks about this. Shall we? I reckon the Brighton launcher won't be able to bring this in. But we'll see. I think we'll have to substantially upgrade this. What are we going to need? We're going to need a decoupler. Will be a stack separator. And then 1.34 stage 1. That's actually more than I thought it would be, to be fair. But that'll run for 1 minute 24 seconds. It now has 2 decouplers. Wait, what? Wasn't that the point? This is the lifter. Unless I've done something wrong. Oh, crap. Oh, did it already come with one? Oh, my launch I already brought. Yeah. That's fine. My lifter already had one. We got that. Separation there. Stage 4, 1.04. I reckon we can probably drain some of the fuel out of that tank. So we'll try it with that tank and that tank. 1 minute 24, 1 minute, 1 minute. Who knows? Who knows if this will even work? Birmingham Station. Dear me. Let's see how far we get. Let's just see how far we get. What have we got here? Separation there. Shell. What's that all about? Oh, that's the fairing. I don't think we'll be out of the atmosphere before the fairing has to go. That's the only problem with this. Josh Fenema? I'll get it right in a minute. Mum's agreed to take me on my PPL at Clacton Airfield next year alongside college. Get ready for some formation flying over Chelmsford. Good luck, John. Yeah, I don't think this is going to work out too well. Fairing, and then the separation for the engine. Mainly because I don't think we'll be high enough. I don't think stage 5 is going to bring us high enough in a minute and a half. Pretty certain it won't. We'll still be within the atmosphere when we throw away this. And then everything's going to break off. We may have to change this for bigger SRBs maybe. I think there's a ginormous version of that just to get us further. I think we'll give it a go, but I honestly can't see. I think when the fairing goes, things will fly off. That's what's going to happen. So we can put that in the same staging. Wait, what? Yeah, the antenna's definitely going to fly off. Let's just give it a run. Let's see what we can do. It's probably going to end in an explosion. At the very least, pieces are going to fall off. I can almost guarantee that much. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, Vinyl Rabbit, I don't think it'll get high enough for that to make a huge difference. I think there'll be too much atmosphere left. Yikes, that thing is wobbling. I think we need some struts. think we need to strut the boosters to the main body. The main section's fine, but the solid boosters are like... Oh. We're not even going to hit 10,000 before that solid fuel runs out. So yeah, the fairing will detach and then pieces will fly off. It won't be fine, Chris. It won't be fine at all, mate. The SRBs are going to detach at 10,000 meters. Well, maybe like 13, and then the fairing's going to come off and you'll see that antenna go flying. There we go. SRBs are about to detach. Wait, I can... Look. What's going on? I can see things moving inside. It's almost like that rotation module's actuated. I think it's actually rotating. Dear God. It is really struggling to keep it going. What's happening is we need to strut the internals because the whole thing's flexing and then the gimbal's having to compensate. This structure needs to be strutted down, basically. Look at it. I got further than thought I would. Is it waiting? Apo's only at 69, but it's stopped. It's run out of fuel. No, it has electric charge. Well, it should have automatically detached the fairing. Okay. It should have automatically done that. That's really weird. I might not have enough time to get to height now. As if. As if it got an Apo of 100. Don't tell me this thing is actually gonna make it on its first go. Give me a break. Coasting for circularization burn. Oh, the electric charge is going down. It's almost RGB time. I just want to... If we lose electric power now, we'll be in trouble. Okay, so... Let's get it to turn. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Look at this. As if this got into orbit on its very first go. As if it did that. That's amazing. The party lights are on. The question is like, how long... Because it doesn't have any proper solar panels yet, so it can't properly charge the batteries, I don't think. Nailed it on the first try. That's insane. And if you look at how much fuel we have left, once we detach, we've still got to do the next bit. We've got to detach this and see if we can deorbit this bit. That could be tricky. I'm just gonna F5 that there. What I need to do now is point probably prograde, so that we can separate from the other bit. I think 100k is high enough, Bigfoot. We don't need to be any higher than that. We're in a decent orbit there. Those little lights are not particularly bright, but they give you some lighting. These are quite bright, actually. That looks pretty wicked. Like, it serves no functional purpose whatsoever, but it does look pretty cool. You see, if Elon Musk is watching, you can guarantee he's writing that down right now. He's like, yeah, I must do that. Red and green, spinning RGB on the next space station. Now becomes the final test then. We've got to see if we can actually detach and send this thing back home. Oh, they're loving it. They're properly loving it in here. Okay, so let's see. Next stage is the separation. Why has it got that on its own stage? The service module. Okay, that's that detached. Okay, I have no control over this thing, apparently. Did we not put a reaction wheel on it? I think we're missing a piece. Like, I have no control over this at all. I thought we had a control on it. Was it gone? I remember adding this. No power. It has no power. We need batteries. Nobody remembered the batteries. No. Even if we'd have put a solar panel on it and had gone round to these... Oh, can you believe it? This entire project almost worked if somebody had brought the Duracells. You can't start the... No, you can't charge the batteries from the engine because you can't start the engine. You know why? Because you don't have any power. You see? An EVA is not going to fix this. We're toast. So before we come back, let's have a look at how much oxidizer and liquid fuel we had left. So we can fine tune that. We've got 1,000 there. None in that one. And 1,000 in that one. So I'm thinking we can knock off like 400 and 600 from that and the same from that. Yeah, but if I redock, how is that going to help? It doesn't have any power. It doesn't have any batteries. Come on, it was only meant to be a test anyway. It was just a quick test. So there's a few modifications we can make here. Most notably, we need to add some struts to stop it wobbling around. That's one thing we need to do. First things first is to get some batteries on this thing. So we can probably fit a battery in there. Or solar panels, either or. Battery bank. This is going to sit on the outside. I mean, it doesn't need much, does it? It just needs some. Where's the remote controller? There's the remote guidance unit there. That was the thing that was meant to control, but it needs power. That was the problem. What about that? Hopefully that fixes that problem. Then we've got the problem of fuel. So we can take about 400 out of this and 600 out of that. So if we take that down to just over 1,000. There you go. And we'll leave the other one. I don't want to be running right to the wire. We'll leave the other one. But that's fuel we don't need. Nerdy Drew, thank you for almost 4 years. And then finally, now when it comes to struts, we want to be able to get rid of the struts afterwards. So what do you do? Do you need to fit them to some decouplers or something? Because, you know, we want it for the ascent, but then after that, we don't want them anymore. That works. Okay, so if we go for some decoupling. A radial decoupler. Any recommended little things we can use? Just put the fairing around the antenna. We had the fairing around the antenna. Click on a part. I don't seem to have the auto strut thing done. I don't seem to have an auto strut. Is that an option? Auto strutting is a hidden option. I don't know what this auto strutting is. Do I have to turn an option on to get it? Because everywhere I look, I don't have it. Is that a setting? It's pretty useful for stations. Okay, so how do I turn it on, Dennis? Don't know what, I'm just going to Google. KSP auto strutting. Go to advanced tooltips and enable it in the menu. Is it in here? Difficulty settings. Advanced tweakables enabled. Auto strut. So what do... Okay, so now we've got that turned on. So what do I need to... Is it the bits that bend, like this stuff? Maybe I need it on all this stuff. Auto strut. The heaviest part. The root part. Oh, there you go. Grandparent part. So auto strut the roots. So that auto struts it to there. Auto strut to the root. Because I want the core of the station to be like as stable as possible, right? So they're all auto strutted to this root now, aren't they? Go to every part and hits auto for the root part. Oh my god. Why can't I right click on this? This is a bit weird. This is not struttable. I don't know if it's meant to be. But it's not. It is a strut, yeah. Okay. And then, this needs to be... I should keep that stable. Yeah, I'm going to strut my stuff now. Build fairing. There we go. Now we're ready. Sidekick, thank you for 7 months. Right, before we take off, have I missed anything? I put batteries and solar panels on the other thing. Solar panel, battery confirmed. No, well, right, so the solar panel for the station itself just has a few epoxy solar panels, which will not run all the lighting. It's enough to trickle charge the whole thing. I don't know for how long. The idea is to do a second launch and bring a component that will dock here, which will have gigantic solar panels on it. That's the plan. I mean, we could strap on solar extendable solar things here to keep it going. We have the right Kerbals. We have the two that always jump in, right? Could put solar panels here. Stick out. 1v6. Oh, those like that. Some action groups. What does that look like? That'll keep it going until the main ones arrive. Save that. Right, action groups. What action groups would you even want on this thing? I suppose the lights is one of them. And then that motor maybe? Solar panel, then lights, then rotor. Those solar panels cannot be retracted once deployed. Oh, really? So we're kind of stuck with them. Oh well. So be it. Unless an engineer can go up and just remove them. Is that possible? Yeah, but what science is he going to actually do in there? That's the thing. I don't want to send Bob or Sigray in there. What happens if you put people in here? Is there any use to them whatsoever? Wait, we should be putting a surface scanner on here, shouldn't we? Isn't there a thing like that can scan the surface of Kerbin? Surely we should put some scanners on it. Or maybe that can come later on the second part. Action Group 1. Passengers will gain experience, right, which they don't need. That one only works in polar orbit. If we put people in this science lab, will it generate science automatically, or do we have to put some other stuff in there? It won't. Right, so there's no point putting scientists in there then. If we put the solars on the rotor, aren't they going to constantly fight to try and orient towards the sun? Toggle lights. I'll put the LEDs on. You believe it does collect science if there's a scientist in it. You need to do science experiments, put the data of those experiments in the lab, which scientists convert into much more science. You must have a scientist in the lab and bring science to the lab. Oh. Wait, how do you bring science to the lab then? Do you have to bring the data and dock and then, like, store it in there or something? That's weird. Engage motor drive, toggle lock, toggle motor power. There we go. Let's go and recruit some noob scientists. Some who have never used before. Taming Kerbal, Jamie Kerman. Jamie Kerban can come. Burlesque, you can sit in there as well. Burlesque. Yeah, Burlesque and Jamie Kerman can go in there. And Jeb and Bill can sit in the front and do nothing. You can dock a probe with the science experiments you've done around the moon, for example, and then have the new data for the lab. Every lab can use the same data only once. Interesting. And they just multiply the science up, do they? Right, I think we go for launch. Let's see if we can actually get this into orbit. And more importantly, deorbit the engine. Disable the auto solar panel extend. That's a good call. Yeah, last time it didn't detach the fairing or anything. I'll tell you what I didn't do. Double check this. Okay. I think we're good. 100k orbit. 100k orbit sound good? I have faith for no explosion. Good. Why 150? Why would you want a why would you want a higher altitude orbit? What's the benefit? You need a lot more fuel to get up there, don't you? So why would you do it? And besides, if we just tune the fuel down, a better view. If we just tune the fuel down and then raise the orbit, we might not have enough fuel to get there. Kerbal won't block the sun. Goes raise the station later. Well, let's go to 120. I reckon we can have enough fuel for 120. Split the difference. Look at Burlesque. How can we only see... Oh, hang on. We have to scroll through to see the rest. Let's watch the mad scientist. It seems to be not wobbling quite as much. But I also strutted these to the route, and yet they're still moving around a bit. I tell you what, this reusable Brighton launcher's doing pretty well. Like, this launch thing has got us quite a lot of missions and science done. And here it is launching the space station. Yeah, we can have a look from their point of view. Ooh, ooh. Amazing. Look at that view. He just sat in. This is great. Look at the view of that fairing. It's amazing. Oh, brilliant. Can't even see where he's going. I'm still seeing a lot of movement here. That was supposed to be strutted down. Way too much wiggle. Adobe, thank you for 10 months. Been here since before you went full time. That was years ago, man. Years ago. Yeah, so there's way too much flex going on in this thing. Well, the engine's having to compensate for this antenna array here just doing this. Okay, at least all those pieces will deorbit. Once the launch vehicle's gone, everything else is a lot more stable. We've got 1,000 delta V left, and it's going to take 238 to circularize. So I've got 800 delta V, which is a lot for something that is not going anywhere. Oh, we're going on the dark side. $119. That's almost perfect. Look at that. 120k orbit right there. That one's a bit crazy. Burn remaining fuel. Yeah, it's tricky. We don't need to anyway. We could perhaps get it later when we dock a craft. We could perhaps transfer it. I don't know. Electrical charge is coming down. I don't think that action group 2 is working, you know. Toggle motor. Why is it still spinning if the motor's not engaged? How does this work? Okay. No, we're not using this dish to... There's going to be a communications array. This is just a bit of fun. Well, it can't be inertia because we've got brakes. Look, there's braking here. It's called Birmingham, puppy. Right, so let's point prograde. Press B. No. Not unless you tell me what it does. Right, let's see if this works this time, shall we? Use the brakes. How's that going to help that, though? It's an electric motor. Okay, we've got some electric charge this time, so that's a good start. Wiggle, wiggle. Okay, if this is a... What is that? You can't be kidding me. Where's that reaction guidance system? Is that it? Right. There it is, remote guidance unit. Does this thing not have any reaction control? I thought it did. Reaction wheels normal. If this has reaction wheels, why can't it turn? It has no ability to turn. No, we got electric power. It's got a green con link. It has electric power. It says it has reaction wheels. It was turning when you clicked retro, was it? Oh, yeah. It's just doing it very slowly. No, it was working. It was actually working. Right, let's see if we can deorbit this. Does it have enough fuel for a deorbit? That's the question. The answer is yes, it does. That Perry's coming right down. Beautiful. There you go. Kaboom. That engine just took it down from a complete orbit to slammed into the ground in no time at all. No nearby object, use the map view. Okay. Switch to. Well, we did it. That actually worked. Would you, Adam and Eve it? I'm going to put all the lights on. I want to see, without deploying the extensible solar panel, I want to see how much power charge it gets when it gets back the other side. So are they just automatically going to do science now, or do we have to do anything else? Wait, lights off. Oh. Start research. What do you have to do? Start research. There we go. I don't know what they're researching, but hey. Just watching the power now, look. It's coming down quite a lot. This is where we find out we should have brought more batteries, right? Can we get some sunshine, please? I think we're actually going to run out of batteries. In that case, I'm going to extend this before we run out of power. So the next unit needs to have more batteries on it to add more power to the battery storage to the station. It doesn't seem to have quite enough. Not with all the lights turned on anyway. That's quite a drain. I think the research is draining, actually. Let me just stop the research. It's on 5.4, yeah, look. It's like it drains it by 5 per whatever. We need to, once we get the battery and solar array up here, we'll turn the research on. For now, it's just too much of a drain. That's, it's enough to get it through the night without the research. That's gone back up now. Nice. Should the power portion? So the next unit we should bring up, I guess, is going to be the gigantic solar arrays. Probably radiator panels. I'm not sure if we need them or not. Do we generate much heat that we need to get rid of? Probably look cool, and maybe stick some batteries on it. Some big batteries, big solar arrays. That's probably the way to go, isn't it? So yeah, we'll just need to go and design the next bit for this. I'm going to go for a quick bio break. I shall be right back. Radiator panels for nuclear. But a nuclear engine on this thing, how much... Can you get a nuclear engine that generates just electricity, or is it only for thrust? How would the solar arrays work? So they collect power when they're on this side of the sun, and the batteries store it for when you're on the dark side. But we need more powerful ones and lots more batteries. Because if you look at the charge now going up, it's not a huge amount. Only thrust. That sucks. There is a RTG nuclear reactor. There is a thermonuclear electricity generator, but it's expensive. I probably don't have it unlocked either. Right, be right back.